can thank him for the memories. Joe Trohman is known as being part of a four-piece band credited for launching emo punk rock into an early 2000s obsession. Fall Out Boy has been churning out hits for 2 decades at this point. But Joe's story isn't just one of fame. It's one of family hardships, personal battles, and most of all, growth. Our Phil Lipof sat down with the guitarist who has proven he's not going down anytime soon.
On stage, Joe Trohman is the hard-hitting lead guitarist and founding member of Fall Out Boy, churning out chart-topping hits like Sugar We're Going Down. Released in 2005, the first of a string of top 10 hits for the band, and the beginning of a trail they blazed, putting a spotlight on the emerging emo rock scene of the early 2000s.
We were hardcore kids that didn't want to play in hardcore bands anymore and wanted to do something that was hookier and catchier. I guess to be the quote-unquote godfathers of a movement. Well, sure, like, cool, I'll take it.
She wants to dance like over the next 2 decades, other huge multi-platinum hits would follow. The band, formed in a small suburb just north of Chicago, now on the world stage. A Grammy nomination in 2006 for Best New Artist, a meteoric rise. But offstage, Joe's journey has not always mirrored the band's success.
Born in Hollywood, Florida, so the crappy Hollywood.
That sarcastic sense of humor found all through his new book, None of This Rocks, a memoir packed with stories from his childhood, a behind-the-scenes look at the band, and lots of therapy, something Joe says he couldn't do without.
Always trying to work through my very messy mind, partly obviously for myself, so I can have a sense of calm, which I rarely do, but also so I can be a good parent.
Just before our sit-down, Joe took a walk with his 8-year-old daughter.
She goes, "I'm really happy." And I go, "Why?" She's like, "Well, I'm really excited for your interview today. I think it's gonna go great." Like, that's incredible. Also the fact that, like, my 8-year-old is propping me up, that's not her job.
He says that kind of praise and support was often missing from his childhood. Joe's father, a cardiologist, his mother wanted to be a doctor too.
But she got very sick with a brain tumor, and the chemo and radiation that she was exposed to crushed her dreams and crushed kind of who she was.
And had a big impact on the mother she became.
I love her greatly, but it was difficult. Going in for a hug from my mother would be met with a push. She literally pushed me away from her. Yeah, I did it over and over again. I was like, maybe this time she'll hug me back. Nope.
Devastating for any child. But Joe wasn't alone. He calls his dad his saving grace.
Thank God I had him, because if I didn't have him, maybe I would have turned out to be a serial murderer. But instead, I had a lot of love and support from him.
Joe was about 15 when his parents let him go to rock shows, mostly punk at first. That's when he met Pete Wentz, the band's charismatic, headline-grabbing lyricist and bassist.
He had a band called Arma Angelus. Their bass player couldn't go on tour. So he asked me if I wanted to come on tour and play bass. I said yes.
Nominated for an MTV 2 award, please welcome Fall Out Boy.
From there, it wasn't long before Fall Out Boy began to tour.
We made Take This to Your Grave. That record took off. It allowed us to kind of upstream to a major label. And then Cork Tree came out. The band was glued together.
But Joe's back was not so lucky. Surgery at 17 for a herniated disc, and then the pain pills that followed.
I didn't have literature or anybody saying, hey, this is heroin. I continued to buy that pill form heroin and other forms of morphine. Yeah, I got really hooked on it without even realizing.
He says he basically checked out of the recording process, his addiction getting worse, heading in a dark direction.
It took somebody I looked up to, Scott Ian from Anthrax, and he just said to me, he said, "You look green." And I was like, "What, green?" I looked in the mirror and I looked disgusting. And I did what you're not supposed to do. I quit cold turkey, because that can kill you. But I did it, and I didn't die, and I'm here.
Now, as a dad, Joe making sure his kids feel loved and supported.
I'm also my father's child, so I have the I love you, I have the sweetness, I have the warm, soft place to land. personality as well. So I wanted to bring that out for my children.
2 girls, ages 8 and 4. He is constantly telling them what he rarely heard from his mother growing up.
I've heard you use the phrase, I love you, at least twice.
Oh, yeah.
Since I've been in this house. And it's only been 2 hours.
Oh, I let my kids know I love them all the time.
We visited with Joe while he was on vacation with his family, getting some much-needed rest after the band's first ever arena tour just ended.
We've been in a band for 22 years. We took a 4-year break. We came back, people still cared about the songs, and now we're able to go out and do stadium shows.
His hair a little shorter than it was back in the day, and life certainly looking and feeling different now.
Patrick goes. Then I come in. When I get to do that, the hair on my arms, stands at attention. Yeah, it's just really fun.
And in an arena, that must sound, coming out of your guitar, that must just sound so huge.
It feels big, yeah.
None of this rocks, Joe says, was cathartic to write. And today he's focused on what's really important.
Did you ever think that someday you'd be sitting in a house in the Hamptons with your 2 beautiful kids running around, married for as long as you've been married, playing arenas with this band?
No. I think I still am trying to wrap my head around all of it. I'm super lucky to have made the money that I've made and have had all the success. But if it was gone tomorrow, would anybody want to sit next to me and talk to me? That's important. It's important to be able to connect to people and I think not be a total pill to be around.
Life lesson there. Our thanks to Phil Lipof for bringing us that.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.